Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter, and if you're looking for the latest in Star Wars such as the comics, novels, TV series, and more, then you're in the right place because every single week I break that down for you guys. We have a lot to talk about this week. First off, big things going on in the video game front of Star Wars. For Star Wars Battlefront 2, we have the release of Geonosis and Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's it. We are in the Clone Wars. So Obi-Wan Kenobi looks incredible. The likeness of Ewan McGregor looks absolutely amazing. And everything in Battlefront 2 has always looked really good as far as like photorealistic renditions of the actors. So running through the skill sets of Obi-Wan Kenobi, he is more of a defensive character. His three moves, the first one being defensive rush. So he just rushes forward, blocks pretty much anything that comes at him, and ends off with a nice long hard swing at the enemy to take them out. The next thing we have for him is called a restrictive mind trick, and what that does is it actually cancels out any kind of move that the opposing character is using, and it prevents them from dodging as well. So it's a good thing to kind of just shut the enemy down as far as their abilities are concerned. And the last move that Obi-Wan Kenobi has is all-out push. It's a very strong force push, but it's very interesting because it's contextual. So if you hold down, in my case with Xbox One, the right bumper, it actually shows a little telegraph, and it gets longer the longer you hold the button down. So it's pretty cool. You can use it in short spurts, or you can use it long-wise and take out multiple enemies in that telegraph. My experience playing with Obi-Wan Kenobi is he's a little bit slower when it comes to meleeing the enemies, although each one of those strikes is a lot stronger. I do just like the one move especially, which is the all-out push. It's fun just being able to, especially in Heroes vs. Villains, just knock enemies clear off with all that control that he has. So let's talk about Geonosis, because this map is incredible. So this is a galactic assault map, so I believe it's 20 on 20 on each side. Obviously the clones versus the CIS. So as the clones, you have captured a droid facility, and there is an encroaching army of droids that are converging on your position. So as the clones, you're trying to push yourself out of the zone with the factory. You're trying to activate these two command posts in phase 1. Once you activate those command posts, what happens is the LAATs start dropping off AT-TEs, which you can actually control and completely independently move these, unlike the walkers in the other levels of the game. So in phase 2, there are those Techno-Union looking ships that Anakin says to fire above the fuel cells in the Attack of the Clones. They are droid carrier ships, and you have to take out 2 of these, and the only way to take them out is with the assistance of the AT-TEs. They are incredibly pivotal in this game mode. You need the AT-TEs to actually win the Battle of Geonosis, because they fire a shell that actually takes out their shields, and then everybody else can actually take out the Techno-Union ships. So the last phase, once they get those 2 things down, is to go for the core ship. So this is very interesting, because again, this relies on the AT-TEs to actually get into a certain zone for them to actually win, for the clones to take out the core ships. And as the Separatists, obviously you're trying to take out the AT-TEs so they can't get forward into that zone. So this has so much going on in this level. There's new vehicles, obviously the AT-TE, very nice heavy type tank, and there's multiple AT-TEs on the same map controlled by different players at the same time, which is very interesting. Also for the Republic, we get for the first time the Bark Speeder. So it's basically a speeder bike, but it's a little bit, I think, more heavy duty, unlike the one on Endor. And for the Separatists, for vehicles, you have the Staff, which is very fast, a little bit weaker obviously, but it's cool to see the Staff for the first time in the game. Another vehicle that you have on the Separatists is the regular like battle tank, and also on the Republic they have the AT-RT. So yeah, there's lots of vehicle mayhem. There is no flying ships or ships in general in this map, which is fine, because I think it's great to just focus on the ground forces, because this map, I like how it progresses, right? So you start in kind of an enclosed area. By the way, there are Geonosians, and you can kind of go a little bit in the catacombs and the caves, and you hear them going around. You can't actually interact with them, but it's pretty cool there. And it's all rocky outcroppings in those command posts, and it's unlike anything in Battlefront that we've ever seen, because it actually opens up into a very wide, completely battle-torn area where there's lots of smoke, and there's this great effect when you take out those Techno-Union ships. So I'm going to keep calling them that, because that's what Anakin calls them that. despite what the people in Battlefront are calling them in their game. When you destroy one of them, it kicks up this sandstorm dust, and it's just so cool because it's so atmospheric and you can't really see what's going on. And you know, it's just everything about this level. You look in the distance, you see the cruisers, you see other AT-TEs transporting the AT-TEs around, and it's like if you're Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're just running out there. General Grievous is out there. It's just fires all over the place. And I just like the fact too that you can actually mount onto an AT-TE without having to actually spawn in on one. So you'll just see these things getting dropped in the middle of the battlefield, and you can run up underneath of it and you climb right on board the AT-TE. That's the first time I think you could ever do that. Well, actually the Tauntaun you could use that. But anyway, this map really gives me the feel of the 2005 Battlefront because it's such an open space unlike anything we've ever seen before in Battlefronts 2 or Battlefront 2015's maps. It's just very wide open, lots of things going on, completely different kind of mechanics as far as trying to achieve victory in this for both the CIS as well as the Republic. I think this gives me a lot of hope for what's going to happen with their large-scale mode, which they have been teasing but haven't given us a lot of details. They say it's going to incorporate these capital ships, but they also teased us with an image of the 2005 Battlefront, like little hologram node things. So yeah, it looks like they're really going to try to push to do something like that. And yeah, this Geonosis map, I think this is going to spark up an uprising in players for Battlefront 2 because I'm trying to get my friends involved because this is a really awesome map to come back to. I mean, who doesn't like Geonosis? Like I said, this is a map that's been beloved in all the other Battlefronts. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'll be playing this map for a long time to come. Good thing they have it on a playlist so you can just keep playing the same map over and over and over again right now. So yeah, really good stuff, and it's double XP weekend. So yeah, get your guys leveled up. It's a good time. Can't wait for more. So that wasn't all we had this week. We also have one comic to talk about, and it's okay because it is Darth Vader issue number 24. This is part 6 of Fortress Vader, and that makes this the penultimate issue of Charles Soule's run of Darth Vader. Very sad to see this one come to an end because every single issue has just been a hit in my eyes, and he just continues on with this specific issue. We leave off where Vader is plummeting from his castle after Lord Momin has taken a physical appearance from going through that void. So we have this attack by all the Mustafarans, and the Imperials are outnumbered by basically 10-1. And well, Vader says, "You are not retreating," because the stormtroopers say, "We got to get out of here," and Vader says, "No, there is no evacuation. We are going to hold off as best we can against these oppressors of the Empire." And he inspires his troops, and they're rooting for Vader. And next thing you know, these Mustafarans somehow summon the fire and just wash out the entire battlefield with lava. And when they think that Darth Vader is done for, Vader actually uses the Force to put a force bubble around him and pop up out of the lava and walks back to his castle. Meanwhile, these Mustafarans are thinking, what the heck is going on? And well, Vader summons the wrath of the dark side and uses all his energy to use like the outside parts of this castle's lava flow to just come up out of the ground and swallow all the Mustafarians. And that's pretty much all of them, and they're all dead now. So after that happens, then Lord Momin in physical form approaches Darth Vader, and they go into a duel. That's right, Darth Vader is actually versing a reincarnated version of Lord Momin, and he is getting his butt whooped pretty much because he gets to the point where his arm gets chopped off. It looks like he is on the ropes, and Vader, as this guy is monologuing, because this guy really, he likes to talk. He's talking about the dark side and about how Darth Vader is not exactly, he's not somebody who should be the vessel of the dark side because he's not using the dark side right. And well, Vader just kind of uses the Force and crushes Momin up against the wall and just squeeze the life essence out of this guy until the lights in the helmet go off. And well, the ending, the big cliffhanger in this penultimate issue is Vader walking through this gateway that is going into another realm, I guess. And he's going to hopefully see what's going on with Padme and see what's going on over there. So very much looking forward to this very last issue coming out next month. But let's talk about the good in this issue specifically. So the thing I really like about this is the battle. the Battle of Fortress Vader. And it's just so brutal because you see Vader just coming down and cleaving these lava fleas in half. I mean, it's just absolute brutal. I like the fact that Vader kind of gets like he gets reborn in a way because he's underneath lava. Like they show him underneath the lava, and through his first person's perspective, I really like that from Kamikoli. Really, the perspective of him and his suit melting almost. He comes out of the lava and he's on the shore of Mustafar looking at his castle, almost like what you would see him at the end of Revenge of the Sith on the shores of this lava type flow. So that was really interesting there. Yeah, so this is a really good story, and man, oh man, I think that the visuals in this particular issue were very good, just vibrant, dark, and just absolutely fiery, which is what you want from Mustafar. So yeah, one more issue, guys. So we also had another episode of Star Wars Resistance. This episode focused on Yeager. It was called the Platform Classic. We have this big race, all the aces. We have Yeager and his brother convincing Yeager to participate in this race. We learn what happened, the dark past of what happened with Yeager's family. So I have my review of that episode on the channel, so make sure you check that out after you're done watching this. So moving over to my questions of this week, both of them come from YouTube comments. The first one is from, "This is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel. I have a question for you. Do you think Disney is doing a better job on the books and comics than the new movies and shows?" That is such a hard question. Man. So yeah, The Last Jedi, I liked it. I didn't love it. As far as Solo, I really liked it. Rogue One, I loved it. Force Awakens, I loved it. So far from the movies, I thought they've been doing a great job with the films. Let's look at the shows, right? So we have Star Wars Rebels. It started off pretty good, and it was a pretty good show. It wasn't as good as the Clone Wars, I don't think. And then you're looking at Star Wars Resistance, which has the potential to even be better than Rebels at this point. So as far as the shows, yeah, really good stuff there. Looking at the recent comics and novels, well, I was just talking about Darth Vader and how much I think that's an essential read for everybody that is into Star Wars. I think they should pick up those trades because it's really telling you a story about Vader that I think is just very important about how he gets the armor and how he feels about what's going on in his life with being a Sith Lord under the tutelage of Darth Sidious. So, putting that in comparison to a couple of novels that have come out, such as Claudia Gray, she is hitting it out of the park with every one of these novels, making a long-standing kind of stake in the sand, saying this is important stuff, right? I mean, you have Lost Stars, you have Bloodline, which is the formation of the Resistance, so that's almost a mandatory read if you want to learn about that. Leia, Princess of Alderaan, is just a fantastic novel. Looking at Timothy Zahn making Thrawn alliances. Now, I really love Thrawn alliances because it really teases us about the potential future of what threats could be out there for the Star Wars galaxy that isn't the First Order, right? And then there's another book that I really didn't like, and that was Last Shot, with the Han and Lando story. So yeah, looking at these things individually, right? Looking at the comics and the books, how much do I think that they really push the story of Star Wars forward? And I think a lot of them do. They aren't like, there's most of the stuff you're not going to have to read, right? Most of the stuff you're going to be like, that was a good story. Cool. I didn't know if I wanted to learn that, but now I learned it. You know what I mean? Now I know about it. Whereas the TV shows like Rebels really telling about the formation of the rebellion and learning about characters, their fates from Clone Wars, I think that's really important too. As far as what is they doing a better job, I think Lucasfilm, I want to just say I think Lucasfilm is doing a great job on all of it. You know what I mean? I think they're coming out with consistent content that we've never had at this point ever in Star Wars, right? Every single week. I mean, you guys are coming back to this channel. You're watching me talking about the comics. You're watching me talk about the video games like Battlefront and everything else. And we're getting these consistent movies. Yeah, maybe not everybody unanimously likes the movies, but, as far as appeasing the fans, Disney is putting stuff out there that each and every one of us likes some of the stuff, I think. So I think in that regard, I think they are kind of even, and I hope that kind of answers your questions because that was pretty hard for me to answer, as you could tell. Moving over to my next question. This comes from Robin McCormick, frequent commenter on the channel. Appreciate the question. Once again, man, what are your favorite lightsaber battles outside of Star Wars films in the Skywalker saga? So I guess that pretty much means what are your favorite lightsaber battles, at least in canon? Outside could have been, I guess, Clone Wars and Rebels, right? So I'll just narrow it down from there. Let's talk about Clone Wars, right? So you have the one fantastic duel between Obi-Wan, Asajj Ventress, you have Savage Opress, and Maul on that cargo ship, and you have Obi-Wan teaming up with Asajj Ventress, and it's just a fantastic duel. Another one I really enjoy, there's lots of memorable ones from Clone Wars especially, is it's gotta be Sidious, Maul, and Savage Opress, and we just see Sidious, like, really for the first time dual wielding red lightsabers and just owning both of those guys. That was unbelievably fantastic, just seeing how much carnage he could deal, even though he looks like he's a decrepit old man, you know what I mean? Moving over to Rebels, Ahsoka Tano. I think for both of the fights I want to talk about, Ahsoka Tano is awesome. We have her fighting against the seventh sister and the fifth brother in the second season of Rebels. Just totally owning them and looking like she's not even really trying hard. So you know she's a badass when she could just pull it off like all nonchalantly, right? Also with Ahsoka, at the end of season 2, her and Darth Vader, that was a duel that not only looked impressive, but it had a lot riding on it. It had a lot of emotional weight. And I think that's the thing about Star Wars, is you can have as many lightsaber battles as you want, but the ones that really stand out to me are the ones where there's a lot on the line. There's a lot of consequence. There's a lot that's actually going to make you invested in why are you caring about exactly what's going on there. So those are just a couple of the lightsaber battles that I really appreciated. Oh, and I can't even forget to talk about probably my favorite one, and it might be up there with the movies too, is Maul versus Pre Vizsla, Season 5. The episode's called The Lawless. If you haven't watched it, you could probably watch it on YouTube. It's like this guy, Pre Vizsla, he is the leader of the Mandalorian clan called the Death Watch, and he has this thing called the Darksaber, which is this really cool looking lightsaber blade that's ancient. And he is using every trick in a trade to try to kill Maul. And I'm not going to say what happens. I don't want to spoil it. But let's just say that this guy uses every trick in a trade. He has a jetpack. He has all these kind of gadgets. It's very much similar to like Jango Fett versus Obi-Wan in Attack of the Clones, but just, you know, even at a higher level than that, I think. So yeah, that might be my favorite lightsaber battle outside of the films. So if you guys want your questions answered on my weekly Star Wars videos, it's very simple. All you have to do is comment in the video saying hashtag Star Wars Weekly so I know your question to be asked. You could also tweet me on Twitter. My username is @Starrapter, and please hashtag it Star Wars Weekly. Any kind of question is up for grabs, so I look forward to answering your questions in the future. So speaking of future, next week you guys can look forward to Star Wars issue number 58, Age of Republic, Qui-Gon Jinn #1. That's right, we're finally getting that really cool series of one-shots on all our favorite characters. That's starting next month. We're going to get 2 character-specific issues, 1 villain, 1 hero, every month, starting next month. It's going to be great. And we're also getting Star Wars Adventures issue number 16. So I want to ask you guys, are you playing Battlefront 2? Has it been a long time since you've played Battlefront 2, and are you interested in coming back with the Geonosis update? And how are you enjoying Darth Vader issue number 24 in the series in general? Are you sad to see it go as I am? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. So if you guys haven't already, please do subscribe to the channel. That way you never miss another video. Like I say, there's so much content coming out on a weekly basis. It could be hard to keep up with it, so I do my best to keep you guys up to speed. My name is Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. See you on the battlefront. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram @Starrapter.